Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is July 13th, and right now we are looking at the visible satellite imagery. As of yesterday morning, you can see these low clouds penetrated in towards the coastal range here in Oregon, in towards the Olympic Mountains, Vancouver Island, and all the way in towards Olympia. But as we scroll through the morning hours, you can see that burn back here. And what I want to show you mainly here is the fire activity there across Oregon. You can see as the sun set, you can see the hot spot there in the GOES 18 satellite imagery, and those are still burning as we speak right now, producing smoke as we go in towards this morning as well. And you can see these clouds down here across California, Nevada. That's going to bring some thunderstorm potential across Oregon and Idaho as well over the next couple of days. We're going to dive into those details here in a moment. And as you can see, as we go through this morning, you can see that marine layer already burning back towards the coastal areas as well. Now, taking a look, the Cal Valley fire and the Upper Pine, the Falls fire out there, and these are producing quite a bit of smoke for some of the areas here. So you guys know what to do if you're running into that, or you want to know just exactly which fire is around you and how big they are and how they were started. I believe the Larch Creek here, you can see, you can click on it and you can look, and it was actually started by humans. And if you can see the Pioneer fire and the Shoofly fire here across Washington State as well. So this is a great map, Northwest Large Fire Interactive Web Map. You can Google that and search for this data yourself as well. So let's go back to day one here, and you can see the brown hatched here is because of isolated dry thunderstorms. And you can see the elevated fire risk here is in the orange. It doesn't include Boise today, but for tomorrow, again, we're going to have this thunderstorm risk here. And again, these will be producing lightning, but not much precipitation, and that's why these can be such prolific fire starters. And it does include Boise tomorrow for that elevated fire risk. Take a look at the fire weather watch here. Spokane National Weather Service, the Tri-Cities, Walla Walla, Yakima, Wenatchee, Chelan. So heads up, gusts at 35 miles per hour, low relative humidities. If any fire starts, it can spread rapidly. And I just wanted to bring this up as well. I believe this was in the Pendleton, Oregon. It is, yes. And, you know, not every incident here of child heat stroke is because a parent just arbitrarily left a kid in the car. 25% of them are because the child gained access to a parked car while unsupervised here. So keep that in the back of your mind here. 900 children since 1998 here. So let's try not to let that happen anymore if we can avoid it. Taking a look here at Seattle. So back-to-back 83-degree days here, probably headed for another 80-degree day again today. The normal high for this time of year is 77 degrees here, so we are above average. We're not getting towards these record highs here, but it's still pretty darn right warm for the afternoon hours. No precipitation in sight just yet, but we will look at that here in a moment because some of the weather models are showing a trough coming up here in the 7 to 10 day time period. Now, taking a look at, let me update this to see if it's been updated. You can see we've got some heat advisories out there, and we've got some red flag advisories, excessive heat warnings, and we're going to have a pretty impressive ridge building up into central Canada here that could include portions of the Pacific Northwest. I'll show you more on that here in a moment. But here's the thunderstorm outlook again. This is for day one, and if we go to day two here, it does include Medford and Oregon. And again, a lot of those are going to be dry thunderstorms or very light precipitation producers. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station that just happens to have a lightning detection system, builds its own forecast for you, it's got all this data. It will store up for you for years in the cloud. Highly recommend this weather station. Click on that link down below to save 10% off. As you can see, this interactive map will show all these weather stations, and you can check out, you know, your neighbors if they have it, or you can keep yours private even if you want to as well, and just keep it for yourself. But you can see you can click on these individual locations, and you can go to these individual stations as well, and then you click on that little aspect there, and you can go in here and you can see the pressure, and you can back out here and you can like go back in the days and see the rainfall, the temperature, the pressure, the solar radiation, the wind, all kinds of good stuff there. So yeah, attractive unit, great smartphone app. Highly recommend that one. Now, taking a look at European model, last night's run, let's put this into motion. As you can see, the ridge is going to start building here up in towards central Canada, and the ridge axis will be back down towards the Intermountain West here as well. And as we go on in towards the later portion of this week, you can see we do have this troughing over the Gulf of Alaska, but this powerful ridge that will no doubt be bringing some very summer-like weather here all the way up and through Alberta and some of the Intermountain West. Now, taking a look at what the GFS has to say on that, this is this morning's. This is hot off the presses. In fact, let me update this so we can get the most recent information. I don't think this model run is done running yet. Here goes this transient ridge over the top of the Pacific Northwest, moves off into position here across central Canada, and again down in towards Montana, Idaho, and in towards, you know, Nevada and Utah here. But yeah, this is the very dominant looking ridge that's been showing up in the models. If we scroll out far enough, let's see if they have the GFS has this trough getting in here. It shows some kind of troughing here, but it's been weakening here over the last few model runs, sad to say. I was hoping to see more of a dynamic trough get in here, but this would keep some sort of onshore flow going here. It's much more warm here for Seattle and Portland when you set up this ridge right offshore or right over the top of the region here. So it's going to be displaced off to the east a little bit here, but some places east of the Cascades could be really ramping up the heat here as we go through the upcoming week to 10-day period coming up. Now, looking at the European yesterday afternoon versus the GFS yesterday afternoon on the right and left. So European left, GFS right. USA model, European model on the left. So here we go. You can see pretty good model agreement with that ridge axis developing here. And then some of the models last night were showing a little better chance of this trough moving in here. You see that both kind of show it here, just different position. European shows it off the coastline here, and this one shows it just over western British Columbia. But we'll see if that flip and flops back here. But right now, last night's runs kind of backed off on that solution a little bit there. So Seattle, Tacoma, you can see warm days upcoming here as we go all the way in through the mid portion of the week coming up. And this, I like to show the cross section here, and you can see the afternoon warm up here as we go on into the next few days into next week here, and then the overnight cooling here, and then maybe some kind of a trough trying to approach the region. Off in the extended, you can see the colder air aloft. The top of this diagram here, or this image, is 10,000 feet, and the bottom, of course, is at the surface. Look at the Tri-Cities. I mean, it looks like a blowtorch out there, and you see not much relief in the overnight hours, especially as we go on into the extended forecast with that ridge around, depending on where it sets up. Things across eastern Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and eastern British Columbia and Alberta could end up very, very warm here. Some very summer-like temperatures could be incoming. And you can see we've kind of bumped these temperatures up here as we go through the July 17th through the 21st timeframe. So yeah, we'll see what that ridge does. We're going to continue to watch it and break it down day by day. And also just a heads up here, for Portland and Seattle, when you're out and about in the afternoon hours, athletics or whatnot, construction, you're out and about gardening even or working in your yard, just keep that in the back of your mind to take breaks and stay hydrated because you're still dealing with moderate or high risk for, some heat-related issues. Looking at 6 to 10-day temperature outlook, they're all over this signal here for that ridge building. And the 6 to 10-day, they still kind of left this token thing. This was actually issued yesterday, but they might be backing off on this above normal precipitation here for the Pacific Northwest. We'll see how that goes. This is the risk of hazardous temperatures. You can see July 20th through the 26th there, and they can clearly see they're kind of preparing everybody here on the experimental product, the Climate Prediction Center, for that excessive moderate heat. You can see, again, mainly Cascades east right now where that best ridge or that ridge axis is going to set up. Now, let's see if this is going to be updated here. No, I haven't updated that one yet, but this one still applies because we're going to have that lightning potential here across NW 11, 12, and 7 here over the next couple of days. Today is Saturday right here. We've already bypassed Friday, and there's Sunday. Then NW 11 remains in the critical burn environment as we go on in through next week coming up. But yeah, anyway, I'm feeling better after my kidney stone operation here. I stopped taking the pain medication and whatnot, so hopefully I can get the stent out pretty soon. It's pretty interesting to see everybody share their experiences with kidney stones as well. It's kind of a, it's not too rare a thing to have kidney stones, in the Western civilization here. We consume a lot of salt and sugar at times, but yeah, feeling better, and hopefully that'll be the end of that, and I'll be able to continue with my daily briefings. I don't like to miss any days there, and I had to miss a day because of the operation. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.